Dear reader, Scrolls Guide are pleased to announce that we have obtained an exclusive interview with the lead designer of Scrolls, Jacob. All these questions were composed by the Scrolls Guide community. Please enjoy reading our interview. Regards, Scrolls Guide. Scrolls Client. Scrolls Guide asks, there is a lot of interest in how the Scrolls Client and Scrolls Server are being designed. You've mentioned plans to publish an open API so anyone can create their own client. Has there been any more thought on this? Jacob responds, we think it is a cool idea and producing an API for it wouldn't be that much work. Also, it will keep us on our toes a bit more as far as safety and anti-cheat. Having said that, we still have not decided whether we will actually do it or not. Terrain. Scrolls Guide asks, a lot of speculation has been spent on how terrain will influence play. Many games have terrain-based, e.g. forest, mountain, etc., advantages using tiles. Our community believes terrain could add a new tactical warfare dynamic to the game. Is there anything you would like to discuss regarding the current functionality of terrain in the game? Jacob replies, we have given some thought to the pre-existing terrain on the battlefield, although no decisions have been rendered final. Perhaps it will be optional. There will be, however, spells and abilities that will alter the battlefield and add effects similar to the classical terrain ones, like reduced movement for example. The Grid. Scrolls Guide asks, very little information is known about the grid and how it would look and act. Some units appear to have the ability to move while others do not. Could you explain how the grid currently functions? Jacob responds, the grid is, of course, where you place your units. These units enter the game with a counter that indicates in how many rounds it will attack. When a unit attacks, it moves in a straight line across the battlefield, unless its rule states otherwise, fighting anyone in its path. Once the attack is done, it will return to its original position and the counter is reset. Keeping an eye on your unit's position will be important, as well as keeping an eye on your opponent's units. Placing units of strategic importance behind walls or other defensive units will probably be a good idea, although ganging up too many units in one area of the battlefield might be a bad choice if your opponent starts producing some nasty AoE siege weapons. Aging Scrolls. Scrolls Guide asks, we received a ton of questions related to the scrolls themselves. There has been a lot of interest in how the scrolls appear to age as players use them. There has been much discussion about how quickly scrolls will age and whether this age transfers with the cards between players. Could you share some information on the mechanics of scroll aging and the possible effects it will have on players' trading habits? Jacob replies, our goal is to simulate non-virtual items as much as possible. Having the scrolls age is a nice touch in that aspect. As for how it affects the trading value, we are really hoping to see some effect because of it. For me, the collectible card game plays a big part, and I feel effects like aging would differentiate the scrolls nicely. The scrolls will never completely break though, so your collection should be safe regardless of how much you play with it. Another way of adding to a scroll's collectible value is that we, as we introduce new scrolls, will phase out older scrolls, making them unobtainable except from the auction house or by trading with another player. So an old scroll in mint condition will probably be something of a rare item. Limitations. Scrolls Guide asks, a related question. Has there been any discussion on limitations for scrolls? Will only a set number of scrolls be able to be in a deck? Or will it be possible to stack one type of scroll and charge with a swarm of Cenarian sorceresses? Jacob replies, there will absolutely be limitations. partially because of game balance, but also to limit the difference of having accumulated a lot of scrolls versus not having accumulated a lot of scrolls. Our goal is to balance the game so that you will benefit from having a large collection of scrolls to choose from as you make your decks, while at the same time not make it impossible for new players with a small collection to win matches. After all, Scrolls is a strategic game and should not only boil down to he who has the most toys wins. On behalf of the Scrolls Guide community, we would like to thank Mojang's Jacob Porser, the lead designer of Scrolls, for taking part in our interview. If you would like to find more information on Scrolls, then head to scrollsguide.com, where you can join hundreds of Scroll members already. This has been Faulty Beard, goodbye.